This episode of the Mike on Much podcast is in partnership with Jameson. Good things come in threes. Welcome to the Mike on Much podcast. I'm your host, Mike Veerman. I'm here with my friend and trusty producer, Max Kerman. We are also here with our pop culture aficionado, Shane Cunningham, who's in the room back from his illness. And we are also joined by intern Erica on the dials. How's everybody doing? Shane, you feeling a little bit better?
Yeah, I was feeling better yesterday.
Man, that's great news. Max, you were at the Leaf game last night. How you feeling?
I'm a little tired.
I was wondering.
Do I look or sound tired?
Yeah. I'm like, should I be polite or honest?
No, I want that.
Are you hungover?
No, just a little tired. I could use a couple more hours of sleep.
Are you a person who admits when you're hungover?
Oh, yeah, because I can't really fight through it, so I have no other choice than to complain about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just my head is hurting, cancel everything kind of thing.
I think that's the number one thing people will deny is being hungover.
I think it's.
I don't have a real job, though, so
That's true. They'll deny being hungover at work. No one denies being hungover on the weekend. It's irresponsible if you're hungover at work, so nobody wants to admit it. Even if it's like, unless you all went out as a work group the night before, then everyone's like, "Oh man, I'm dying," you know. And then it's like because you're all in it together. But if it's like there was Insta stories, and I'm not talking from personal experience of you at a Raptors game per se, and then you come in and everyone's like, "How you feeling?" It's like, "I feel great." Because you don't want to seem like the jerk that was out till 2
But I
a.m.
do think there's even a point of pride if, like, let's say 8 friends went out and then they all wake up together. Let's say it's a bachelor party. It's like
that's one wild night.
But it's like, I'm actually feeling pretty good today.
Yeah.
There'll be like that competition of who can just handle their shit the best.
That's true. That's true. The thing is, some people just like they can't even deny it. Like you said, Max, you're a terrible hungover person, so you would literally just be like, "I need to lie in bed until noon," and you guys do your other thing, which we've all done at bachelor parties.
Yeah, I double down on owning it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Erica, you hungover?
No.
What time do you go to bed last night?
Like midnight-ish.
Nice.
How many beers?
2.
How many shots?
0.
Wow. You didn't go behind the bar this time?
No, I was with my friend and her dad who was in town, so.
Pints or bottles?
Pints.
Okay, so that's about 4 bottles worth.
No.
You narc.
It's not.
Erica, how are you feeling about like the state of your career right now? Because I want to bring this up because I was talking to our friend Dan about you last night, and it was like you're killing it. You're doing such a great job on this podcast and with MLSE stuff. No, this is not going anywhere other than the fact that you're a nervous person or you're anxious about where your life's going. But you're way ahead of every one of us when we were your age.
Yeah,
maybe not
I
Mike,
feel good.
but yeah,
I do. Yeah.
Feeling good?
Great.
When do you think you'll stop being such a nice person?
Such a nice person?
Yeah, like when you'll start, it's like the real world. Like when we stop being fake and start being real. Like not that you're being fake, but I mean you're very nice all the time. When do you think you'll be like kick into like?
I hope never.
Okay.
I can be mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get one more pint.
But if you were really upset with us, would you tell us, or would you just be like,
no, I
know
would
what?
never tell
I'm just
you.
going to be quiet.
Yeah, I'd do whatever you say.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll get to a point though, like in sort of like your confidence and say like standing within a company or with coworkers, where you would be like, actually, I'm pissed off and I'm going to say something?
Maybe if I'm like the boss.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel like everywhere where I'm at now, I'm very like replaceable. So
you're
I'm
a
still
pragmatic
kind of
person
like
too. You're like, I'm not gonna like go kick up a storm. No, that's not.
Yeah.
I'll maybe later when you have a higher job. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're 5 years away.
From being the boss?
No, from having like a freak out on somebody.
Oh, maybe. I'll let you know.
Shane just looked her dead in the eyes. Like, I think you're 5 years away. So funny.
There is something that happens though that's kind of interesting, and it's like as your career, like whenever you start a career or you're in an early phase in your career, there's a certain trepidation to like go into say like your boss's office and say, hey, like I either want a little more money or I want more responsibility or I really want to do this or I have this creative idea. And there's some people that naturally have this ability to sort of like this confidence where they're just like Shane, we've seen it. Like some people will come in and they're like 25 and they're like, I want to direct this commercial, and they're just kind of like push their way to the front of the line. You're like, shit. Like, that's a lot of confidence. You know what I mean? Whether they're good or not, they kind of inherently have it. And then some people, it takes a while to develop sort of the comfort level and confidence in yourself. And even like you were saying, maybe like you bring something valuable and you're not sort of replaceable, or whatever it is, to then just feel open. And sometimes who your boss is matters, right? Like, because sometimes people are very intimidating. You don't want to go into an office and say something. But I do think it takes time for certain people to get to that place. And some people never do. And
also, the problem, though, with that first example, though, about the person who just like barges into the office, is that person like read or watched some fucking documentary on some trailblazer and goes, oh, that's the way to fucking do it. I see myself, I'm a little Steve Jobs myself.
Yeah.
And then like the problem with like seeing those people as like the model is that like they're 1% of the people that can actually pull the shit off. So I'm always just like,
I've seen that personality type flame out too.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that a lot of times it's just like, oh, you want to go that's the path you're choosing. It's like, it only works if you're Steve Jobs, like two other people. So maybe you can think a little harder on this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like when I see a lot of it's sort of a similar example, like with indie rock bands where they go like, you know, Vampire Weekend just puts out a record every 5 years. So that's kind of what I think I want to do, because that kind of, it's sort of my speed. I'm like, all right, have a good time working at the coffee shop, man. Like there's one Vampire Weekend that gets to fucking do that. Everybody else has to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's funny when people like see their heroes and try to do that. I'm like, it doesn't quite work like that for everybody.
Totally.
Yeah.
But I'm talking more about like speaking up, because when you're at that point where Erica is, you're almost like, even if you're right, you're smart enough to know that you could be wrong because you're so new. So you don't want to speak up, even though maybe your conviction is telling you you're right.
Do you think we have a good vibe in here? You tell us when we're idiots, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was convincing.
What do you mean? Like,
No,
if you
but
say
if
something
there's
silly?
a creative idea or something like that.
No.
You don't?
I wouldn't get involved in your creative stuff, I don't think.
No?
I'd like to. Do you think though, and be honest about this? Like, do you think that we would be welcoming to that stuff? Because I'm very like, or I'd like to think that we're very like the best idea wins. Not that we have brainstorms as a unit or anything, but if you want to pipe in, I hope that you don't feel like you don't have the opportunity to.
Okay.
It's on the record.
Yeah, no, I don't not feel like that. I just don't know if it's my role. I don't know all the inklings that go on behind the pod necessarily.
That's
I'm on the front end of things. You
Got
know?
you. Yeah, there's like other conversations.
Staying
we're
in my
having.
lane.
Yeah. Which is fair, right?
Yeah.
It's not like Max, you're not like bringing her into our sort of deeper conversations or larger picture stuff.
But occasionally you'll have an idea. I'm like, oh yeah, sick idea. Let's do that. I feel like.
And you're always contributing funny stuff. Was it you that sent the one about the gender reveal party and the woman dying?
Yeah.
It didn't make the topics, but
That was funny.
I think that there's an
It's funny
interesting. Listen, I mean, it's always sad when somebody dies, but when it's the result of something silly or superfluous, it goes into the classic like Florida man, Twitter account where it's like there is something. What's
Funny about the
amusing
shrapnel
about
hitting her in the head. Yeah.
It's not funny.
I
I
know.
feel terrible that. Well, I mean, honestly, whatever. People die every day. So when something like this happens, you're just kind of like. Anyway, I thought it was good of you to put it in the group.
Yeah,
I got to
thanks.
get myself out of this one. All of our older lady listeners that have been injured at gender reveals are going to be writing in angry at me.
Question
Large
for
group.
you, Mike.
Yeah,
You're a big people pleaser.
Yes.
But you also have an opinion.
Oh, I do.
You're willing to voice it.
Yeah.
I've seen you not be combative, but express your opinion with supervisors.
Yeah.
How old were you when you started getting the confidence to do that?
It's a great question. I like you said, like I've always sort of like I don't know. I'm proud of myself. I've always tried to read a room in a way that seems to sort of like, because you never know if you're sort of misreading something. But I tried to sort of like from the very start when I came in at like before it was Bell Media, like Much Music, and I was like 20 years old. I basically tried to like understand the dynamics of the room. So if I'm like, okay, this personality type, like whether they're the supervisor or even somebody subordinate to the supervisor, but they're almost like, oh, they might be sort of a secret leader, like it's like everyone respects that person's creative, so they kind of have a strong voice. I would sort of understand the dynamic, and then after I got my footing, I would say within the year, I felt comfortable throwing out ideas. The other thing that happened is I would be in these brainstorms and I would listen to the ideas pinging around the table, and I wouldn't give mine at first because I was like, maybe mine are shit. And then after sitting there for a couple months, I was like, no, mine are on par. I think I'd feel comfortable throwing them out. And a couple of them died. They were shitty ideas. You know what I mean? And you think they're funny, and you throw them out there, and then the room kind of stares at you. And you're like, ooh, that one hurt. I'm embarrassed. I'll lick my wounds at home. And then you just get better at it. But I would say within that first year, I felt comfortable speaking up and then not being really intimidated. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Where were you at?
Maybe 6 or 7 years. took me to feel comfortable and confident. Because also I wasn't really friends with anybody at work, so that like you were very close with Randall, and he was like kind of a drinking buddy of yours.
Yeah.
But I remember I did a spot very early on, and it was like with an overweight person on a couch, and the whole spot was that this person was competing in a marathon, and I thought the spot was awesome. Like I thought it's, to this day, I think it turned out really well. And then we sent it to marketing department, and then marketing is like, what is this spot? This spot was supposed to be for 15 to 20-year-olds, and it's featuring like a 40-year-old man, overweight, in like a wife beater, like typing on a keyboard with a stick. And I was just so like, I had so much to say about it, but I didn't say anything. But nowadays,
like you wanted to defend your spot.
Of course,
yes.
Because they mixed up that the demographic has to appear in the spot. But my whole point was the humor is for that demographic. This is like The Simpsons is Homer Simpson, who's a 40-year-old dad perpetually. And it's catering to people who are 15 to 30,
yep.
right? And that's the humor. It's not about who actually appears in the spot. But I just kind of swallowed my pride and just took it and felt like a fool. Whereas now I'll fight feedback all day long.
Sometimes I feel like you get a little spark.
Well, I'm smart enough to know what to fight and what not to fight.
Absolutely. What about you, Maxie? I mean, you've never had a traditional
so sheltered
job.
from like a real life, so you know what I mean?
Are you the boss, kind of?
Yeah, kind of.
He's the subject of the song "The Boss Is Coming." Actually, it's autobiographical.
It was originally "I Am Coming." Be afraid.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you were in a defined like structure where you were sort of you had like a direct report? Was it like in university?
Yeah, Hamilton Law Association was my last real job.
Weren't you like 18?
No, I was after I graduated from McMaster. It was like when the band was getting going and I had a part-time job.
You had that job.
Yeah, but it was such a like kind of bullshit, like just file these papers kind of thing and we'll leave you alone kind of job.
And you knew you had the hits in your brain already, right?
Were you always like writing songs in your mind while you were filing papers?
I was listening to a lot of podcasts actually back then. I listened to the Barack Obama audiobook. Yeah, I was just like in the back of this library just like putting books away. And I did a bad job of that too. The women, they were just really nice to me. Like I'd always shelve things incorrectly and they're like, Max, you put it in the wrong spot. I'm like, oops, sorry about that. I had like one job.
This might be why you're so nice. Like everybody's always just so nice to you that of course you think the world is inherently a good place.
Yeah, and I get along with people. I did a thing that I'd pick up donuts and coffee, and then the nice ladies would try to give me like a toonie to pay me back. Like, no, it's on me. Don't worry about it. No, it's fine. And also, I was like 23, and the rest of the office were like 45-year-old middle-aged women. So I think they kind of they might have had a little crush on me, you know.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but you know.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would.
Just the lesbians didn't.
Do you think if you had to, you could go back to a conventional job?
No, they'd eat me alive, or I don't know. Like I don't know how I do it.
Genuine fear was in your eyes.
Honestly, it's the reason why I work pretty hard on Arkell stuff, and like why like this is fun. Like I just like need to keep. It's the Strokes line, like working so I don't have to try so hard.
Yeah.
That's it. It's like I never don't want to have this job. So that's why like I bust my ass for Arkell stuff. And it's always pretty fun work too. And all the annoying shit that we had to do in the early days, I don't really have to do anymore because I just delegate that to somebody else. I'm the number one delegator of all time, as we know.
Yeah. But you did build it over this last decade to a point where it could be on autopilot in some regards.
Yeah, or just that you just know who to ask the right question to get the job done.
Yeah.
That's
30 years from now, are you still shaking it on that stage?
I'd like to. It'd be pretty fun. I don't know. It's fun, it's like because there's guys like Alan Doyle, the Great Big Sea, Jim Cuddy.
Those guys are still out there doing the damn thing.
Yeah, and they have like the enthusiasm and zeal of like a 9-year-old at a sleepover for like their job and performing and stuff. So it'd be pretty cool to keep doing that. But anyway,
to wrap up, Erica, as you project out in your career, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Are you someone that sets goals, or are you kind of like, I just want to do cool shit and hopefully it works out?
How many podcasts do you think you'll be producing by then?
Are you starting a podcast empire?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe podcasting is my future.
Have you ever thought about being like starting your own podcast where you're the sole voice?
I have thought about it. I've pondered it. I have no real good ideas, but
Erica's
sometimes
hour.
I take home the Zoom
Erica hour.
Erica hour, pretty good.
Well, if you ever need a guest, I'd come on your podcast.
Thanks.
No problem.
Hey, I went to the Leafs game last night.
You did.
Yeah.
As we established, you're a little tired right now.
A little tired. I went with our friend Al. It was
Love
his birthday.
Al.
So I figured it'd be a nice thing to do.
Champagne boy Al.
And it was funny.
I ran into them actually in front of my my building.
That's right.
Yeah, and Hammy, our buddy Dan, who now works for the Leafs, we can say
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
Dan Hamilton, he was in his suit, getting ready to go, and like
he's a
he
big
dresses.
boy.
Shane, he like dresses in a full suit for game days.
He looks like he should be like in the executive box.
Why?
No, but he sits in the executive
Yeah.
box.
He doesn't like. So he actually like works. Like he goes to the arena and works.
In a suit?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's really
Wow.
cool. It's so cool.
I was very proud of him. Weirdly, I
Yeah,
was
me
like,
too. I
"Oh,
took a
there's-"
photo of him like he was like my kid going to school.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, I want to take a photo of you. He's like, no, don't put it on the internet. Like, stop. No. And I was like, no, this is just for me.
Yeah.
He's like, okay.
But that seems to be going well.
Yeah, So we love Dan and that job that he has. But it was fun going with Al because Al's an old roommate of mine.
Yes.
And he's got a heart of gold. He's always been a very sweet, sort of self-assured, smart guy, and a great roommate in that, like, very responsible. With like roommate dynamics, sometimes you're like uncomfortable asking like someone to, can you make sure the kitchen's clean, or like giving direction. Al never would be offended by anything, and he'd tell me what to do, and it was all good. So we had really good rapport. But I don't get to see him very often because he's a new dad. He's a new dad, and he lives in Toronto now. But he's a big hockey fan, so we had a chance to hang out, and it was just fun being there with him. And there's a reason why you just ultimately hang out with your friends that you've known for a long time, is that you get to do these big shot things, because we got to go to like the lounge, and the tickets were very, very good. And
what were you, like third row or something?
Yeah, like third row or fifth row maybe.
Look good on the gram.
Yeah, and people come up to me and treat me very nicely, but Al just is like grinning, going like, "Do you know what this fucking guy's actually like?" Like, so I think there's something like the dynamic going to something like that is always fun, because it's like, you puff at your chest a little bit, you say hello, and you try to be charming, and then Al's just like grinning like, this fucking guy.
He lived with you. He's seen you at your worst.
Yeah,
I know this
exactly.
guy looks like in his underwear on a Sunday hungover.
Yeah, exactly.
Crying.
Which
Yeah.
makes it that much more fun. But then we ran into Larry Tannenbaum. Who's,
Wow.
Yeah, he was
LT.
The board. Yeah, and LT. Comes,
Sorry, what did he do, that guy?
He's the owner of the team.
So he owns so he's like our Mark Cuban essentially, but
He's the owner of MLSE.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like he has a majority, and then Rogers and Bell split the other half, just under half. But he's like the figurehead.
So got to be nice to that guy.
Got to be nice.
Yeah.
So like when the players signed their contracts, there was like, I want to thank Larry Tannenbaum and the board.
He gave a speech on stage after the Raptors won in Oracle.
At
Yeah,
the
like
rally.
he's
was
like
there.
on the court where they get the.
Yeah.
They handed him the Larry
trophy.
OB.
So I
Do you know him? Have you talked to him before?
I think we've run into each other maybe once before. But I go, oh, hey, Max, I play in Arkells. Thanks for having me here. And he goes, oh, you're Nick's buddy. So he knew the Nick Nurse connection.
Oh,
Whoa.
interesting.
Yeah, which is kind
So
of
Nick's been bragging?
Well, no, it probably would have made the rounds like in MLSE world that like Nick got on stage with Arkells, who've also played at Scotiabank Arena. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
If things don't work out for me in TV, do you think through your connection with Nick, you could get me a job as an assistant coach?
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I'd shag balls. I don't care. I'd just like rebound for guys.
Listen,
That's the new title of this episode.
I'd shag balls. And by the way, that's actually a baseball term more than a basketball term. I meant to be rebounding, but basically, yeah.
you know, Nick likes to give people chances. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
We met his assistant coach. Like he gave his first job.
I wonder if I'd be more happy working in basketball than I do working in TV. Because basketball, I've said before, I don't really want to work in basketball or do like a specific basketball podcast, because basketball is my
Your special place.
it's my special place. It's my recreational activity, and if I did it as a job, what do I do now recreationally?
Yeah, but that's if you're like on the peripheral as a writer or something. If you're actually shagging balls for the team, that'd be exciting.
It would. But then am I going to go home and watch like
You could-
the other games in the league? Probably, maybe I'd be more immersed.
Oh my! I think Mike, that would be the best job for you ever.
It'd be the
Be
dream.
thrilling.
Be the dream.
That would be cool.
All right.
Anyway,
I'd take a picture of you in your suit going to work. Honestly, just for me.
I'm the only guy rebounding balls in the practice facility in a suit. I don't know why Mike keeps wearing a suit.
Yeah, it's like just-
I told him wear sweats, but he's taking this very seriously. Yeah. Anyway, so
we meet Larry, and then he's like, good to meet you. And then he goes over to Al. He's like, Larry Tannenbaum, good to meet you. And then Al just goes, hey, I'm Al.
hey, I'm Al. The other thing is Al's nickname, because he's such like a sweet guy. He's been Simple Al for
He's
as
been
long
Simple
as we've
Al.
known him. But that just sort of sums it
Yeah,
up.
just sort of sums it up. But Al, and he's a very like bright,
Oh my God,
self-assured
yeah.
guy. He's not dim on any level, but we had a good laugh about that. He's just like, I did just say, "Hey, I'm Al" to Larry Tannenbaum.
Hey, I'm Al. Which is what you would say. It's so
Yeah.
obvious, but just like I can picture the cheeriness with like the matter of fact nature of it.
Yeah,
like,
hey, I'm Al.
Yeah,
But
this
like,
isn't weird at all.
Didn't include his last name or
Yeah.
like any of that stuff, any of those formalities. And then we ran into Brendan Shanahan. And he did the same thing. It was very good. But you know what? I think we have to stop calling him Simple Al.
Yeah.
I think we have to start calling him Woke Al, because I think he's our wokest friend.
He's become far more vocal in the Champagne Boys message group.
Yeah, and what is so interesting, and I think this is a testament to the company you keep and the effect that can have on your life, is that the Al that we knew originally was a guy who liked to smoke barbecue, sit on that lazy boy and like play video games, and he worked at the pool.
Has he quit smoking?
No.
Oh.
like barbecue, like smoked meat.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Has he quit smoking meat?
Yeah.
I think he's off
Has
meat.
he quit
right?
smoking meat would be a good title.
He. I don't get it.
Well, I think it's an oral sex thing. I think. I don't know. Wink, wink.
But anyway, he's a new dad, and his partner Sarah Bobus is very politically minded and has many opinions on the state of the world. And he literally is a vegetarian now. They don't buy their kids any new clothes. Have you seen this?
Yeah, I remember he was. We were talking about diapers because he also didn't want disposable diapers. See, they wanted reusable diapers. So we had a big talk about that. I'm like, man, he's really, really embracing sort of being environmentally conscious.
He's very environmentally conscious. He's very progressive in his politics, and it's just like, man, this is
vocally progressive in his politics.
Yeah.
Because in our Champagne Boys group, there's certain guys that they're weird. I don't know if it comes across this way because we tend to like to drink and watch basketball and other things, but our group ends up becoming quite political at times. Like during the election, the Canadian election, which we never even talked about on this podcast. Pinging around, lots of action in the group. We'll talk about American politics, all this stuff. But Al, in the last couple of years, has really sort of, you get those long, like.
It's just the turnaround is incredible.
Yeah.
And if you were to ask me 5 years ago who is like the least interested in politics or any of that stuff in our group, Al would be at the top of that list. But now he's the wokest friend we have, I think.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting turnaround, and I think he's
behind
better for it.
every great man is a great woman. Mm-hmm. So Al's kind of like ghostwriting for his wife. In there.
Yeah, or what do you mean? Ghost?
I mean, his wife is informing him, and he's writing it out in our Facebook group. That's not an insult. I'm doing it the same. Look, I gave a speech on flu shots yesterday. I was wearing an earpiece at the time. Headline.
Cue cards, talking points while you were calling in for the podcast. Oh fuck, that's hilarious. Yeah, but anyway,
It was a great night.
Was Al during the Leaf game? Was this the conversation? Was it like very political? Was it about progressive sort of social
a
issues?
little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a vegetarian because we had this we were eating some food in the lounge thing, and he had his vegetarian lasagna. I was like, oh, not having the chicken parm. He's like, no man, don't eat meat anymore. I was like, oh well, there you go.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Did he go out for a drink after the game, or did he dad it up and head home?
Yeah, we had one. It was fun.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. You got to treat yourselves. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know how many of our listeners have kids, but sometimes you just need to go for that extra drink after the game.
It's true.
Feel like have some autonomy again, and then you get back into dad mode.
How old is Woke Al now?
31.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's that young.
I think Woke Al's gonna be the new name.
Yeah.
Simple
Woke
Al's
Al's
gone.
Yeah, Woke Al.
Woke Al.
Yep.
Well, shouts to Woke Al,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you had a good time at the
Yeah.
game. Man, I'm impressed that you got to hang with Larry Tannenbaum.
Yeah. I wonder what what else would I have talked about? I guess the Nick Nurse thing is pretty good.
Yeah.
But
You could have talked about me.
no, true. I
See,
could have brought you.
Erica's an employee there.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We
Have you
gotta
heard
pump
of enough about Nick Nurse? Have you seen intern Erica's good work? Have you listened to the pod?
Yeah.
Are you still on the soccer with my brother?
Yeah.
So my
Look it.
brother's in Atlanta right now. Hey, you got your TFC. So shouts to
Sick.
the Toronto
Eastern
Football
Conference
Club.
Finals tonight.
That's right. So big game tonight. I don't know if this will come out tonight or tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But yeah, my brother is in Atlanta. He didn't even know if he'd be. I mean, obviously the hope is that this team would go on and go on. But it's so funny trying to plan your life because it's like he had to go to New York for the last game, I think, and then now he's in Atlanta. I never
Yeah,
see.
he's been traveling like crazy
I
since
know.
September.
He lives around the corner from me. And I never see my brother.
Hey, last thing before we get to these topics, because I'm a little tired, and this is pertinent to my interest. There's a new business in Toronto called Nap It Up. Have you heard about this?
No.
So basically, Toronto just got its first napping studio where you can get beds for 25 minutes.
This sounds like an ad read.
No, it's. Well, I mean, they should pay us something. But
Are you just a user of this product, or
no, but people are sending it to me because they know I love naps, and I feel like before Dan Hamilton moved to downtown Toronto, I didn't really have a good place to nap.
Yeah,
I always like a 20-minute nap at around 4:00. It's true.
No, it sounds amazing.
And so there's a
man, your life.
no. It's I know, right?
I like to have a little nap around 4 so that when I hang out with Larry, the owner of the Leafs, I'm in good spirits. I could fully equip myself for that conversation.
Well, anyway, it's a Young and Eglinton. 13 beds are available, and it's.
Have you tried this place yet?
No, I might try though at some point if I'm ever up.
I think you should try it just for a segment on the pod.
It's $10 for 25 minutes, 20 for 55 minutes, and 30 for an hour and a half. And 20
Do you think regular people will use this, or just very privileged people?
Probably just privileged people.
Yeah.
But I feel like privileged people also don't like the idea of sleeping on a random bed. So it's
So
weird. I don't
who's
know
it
exactly
for?
what the demographic. I don't know. I guess me.
Yeah, it's perfect for you.
You'll
But-
keep them in business.
Yeah, but like I'll nap anywhere, and I also have the money to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, to Shane's point, and most people have their own beds. Like, you are a rare case where you live in Hamilton and do a lot of work in Toronto, so you don't have
I have a
someone.
nomadic lifestyle, so I end up doing this.
I'll nap anywhere, and I have the money to do it. That's
That's the title of this episode. 100%. I'll nap anywhere and I have the money to do it. That could also be the title of your autobiography.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Oh my God.
So funny. I nap here at E1.
Do you?
Yeah,
Oh,
they,
yeah,
they
the-
have a quiet room.
I have a quiet room, and the couch is like a double couch, so it's not long enough for my whole body. But then I pull around one of the chairs. I have a good system, and then I also there's like a weird little blanket in there. It's not even a blanket; it's like a rug that's sort of like in the TV stand. I just put that over my eyes, and I'm good to go.
Wow.
I do it in the studio too, in recording. I always have a 20-minute nap at 4:30.
I'm impervious to napping.
No,
I never napped probably in my life.
really, 20 minutes is the sweet spot.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
You a napper?
Only if I've not got sufficient sleep or I've been out the night before. I'll need like a 2 o'clock or something, like, or my head starts nodding at the desk.
But is it like a 20-minute thing?
I would do 20 minutes, yeah.
Erica
Yeah.
nap?
Yeah, same as Mike.
Wow.
But otherwise, I don't need one.
Yeah.
I feel like
Me
I highly recommend it. And yeah, so like this afternoon, everyone try to have a nap.
I think
Is
every
it? No
office
way.
should have a quiet room.
Yeah.
Where after lunch, while your body's digesting, you can just go rest your eyes for.
I would be so stressed in this nap area too. I'd be like, I pay my money, and I would just think about the clock ticking. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I have 25 minutes. I got to nap now. Look at my clock. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. Now I have
Fuck,
20 minutes to
wasting this
nap.
money, yeah.
You have to do. You just have to pay the 30 and do the hour and a half. Otherwise, you'll be too stressed out.
Yeah. Because I think about that in the middle of the night. If I wake up at like 2 a.m. or something, I'll be like, oh, I got to get back to bed or my nights can be ruined.
Yep.
Then an hour will go by. Like, okay, I'll put on a podcast. Let's do it for a half hour. That'll get me to sleep, you know?
And you're calculating how much time you have left. how
Yeah,
much
and you're
time you have
stressing
left.
about the
Yeah.
time and everything feeds into it itself.
Are you guys good sleepers?
No.
Bad sleeper? Yeah, I assumed you'd be a terrible sleeper, Shane.
I am a good sleeper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hit or miss. I don't know. Depends. I drink too much coffee on the average day.
I'm a pretty good sleeper. Lauren's very annoyed with me because like I'll fall asleep within 2 minutes every time.
Good sleeper, vivid dreamer. I have crazy dreams.
Really?
All the time. I remember all my dreams. Yeah.
Come on.
I kind of enjoy going to sleep because I get to like visit other lands, you know?
It's the most quotable episode.
Yeah, we need to bang somebody.
I fly in my dreams. Like,
Oh,
it's
thank
fucking awesome. Seriously.
Wait,
Like,
give us
it's-
one from like last night.
Well, I mean, well, last night was, I don't want to get into that one. Oh shit, man.
Give us like a PG one.
No, like for,
Yeah.
for instance, like they'll be like I'll be on a movie set, right? And I'm like acting in a film, but then the film will turn into reality. So like it's like say I'm in a science fiction film, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, oh no, wait, I actually did travel to the future. Like weird stuff happens. Like people in my life will pop up, and like some stuff's not real, some stuff's real. I also really like having dreams where like something devastating happens, or like say like I lose an eye or something like that.
You like that?
For the wake up effect?
For the wake up.
Yeah.
Because I get to feel the immense dread and sort of go through this whole process. And then when I wake up, it's like immense relief and happiness. And
I
so
like
It
that
takes you
roller
like
coaster.
5 seconds to realize it.
Oh, big time. Absolutely. And I'm also a pretty good lucid dreamer. I can tell when I would say like 30% or 40% of the time I can tell when I'm in a dream.
What's the ratio of sex dreams to normal dreams?
Oh man, I don't want to get into those numbers. No, I mean they pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all depends on how frequently. When's the last time you JO'd? Because if you go a couple days, you're going to be way more primed to have one of those dreams.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Very true.
Agree or disagree, Erica?
Agree. I actually had a sex dream about Jared Leto after we talked about him last
Whoa.
week. So that was
Was he in the Joker makeup and everything?
no. He was talking about 30 Seconds to Mars the whole time, and I don't know.
that
his
sounds more like a nightmare.
But yeah, it was great.
Was he nice to you in the dream?
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Are you a fan otherwise? Or?
No, I know nothing about him.
Right.
But yeah,
Pleasant combo?
he was in the brain.
How was his
Right.
skin? Was he perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful eyes. He looks like Jesus a
He's
little
very
bit.
beautiful.
So not to get too personal, but in this dream, did you do it?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, it was like a week ago. I don't
Lucid
remember.
dream or no?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you guys lucid dream?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What does that mean exactly?
You control the dream. You're aware. You're in the dream.
You're sleepy. You're like conscious.
You're like, I'm appreciating this moment because I know I'm not actually here, but
sure.
There's no
Yeah.
consequences because I am in the dream.
yeah,
Oh, hey, by the way, Shane, I got you a shirt.
I noticed that.
Hey.
Thank you very much. It looks, and you're modeling it for me
Yeah,
right now.
I got one.
Looks
I got
good.
one. Yeah, I got one for you. This is manager Ash texted me last night, and she just said, "By the way, you're not giving that ring to Shane."
Did you give her the little holder? Like, because it comes with a little plastic holder, or did you just give her the ring?
Oh,
Like, you know how they gave us the box that the
yeah.
ring came in?
There's a
little
holder?
plastic
I
holder
think I
that
chucked down the garbage immediately.
yeah, it sits in the holder. It looks
Oh,
awesome.
I didn't know. It's gone.
Why is manager Ash saying that stuff?
Saying that stuff.
Because she probably thinks that I'll want it later. She knows how my brain works. Pretty
But
good.
you can always hit me back up.
Oh, so you like just be the holder of the ring?
Yeah,
Or the Lord of the Ring.
it's like a pawn shop, but I won't charge you. I'll just give it back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, we can talk
I'm
about it.
easygoing.
Maybe she has it displayed in the office though. You know, like it
It
might
is-
be a centerpiece. I mean, if she just had the holder, it would make more sense.
Yeah, it is sitting in her office right now.
Just a question: what size is your shirt?
I don't know. It doesn't say on the back. I just grabbed 2 shirts.
I think they're all larges, man.
Okay, well, mine's an extra large.
Oh,
Well, this doesn't seem like an extra large. Just maybe a large.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say.
Do you want the large?
No. I was just wondering if you were like, Shane's getting bigger.
No.
right.
That's funny. That's where your brain goes.
Well, of course, that's where your brain would go.
No, my brain would go. Oh, they probably just had XLs there. That was the only size they had. That's so funny. How
that actually is an interesting difference, and
Yeah.
I think that is true. Like Shane takes it personally. You think it's just systematic.
Yeah, or just like a coincidence.
Well, maybe if you were eating a lot of donuts for like a month or something, you'd be, and then I got you an XL, they'd be thinking that.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you
That
been
is-
doing that?
Yeah,
I've been
ours-
eating a lot of donuts. Yeah.
You don't look any different.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, our starting points are different.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Topics.
Let's do it, guys.
Like, how long have we been going? For?
Big chat.
32 minutes.
Just 30 minutes of talking.
I think that
about
was
nothing.
great. 32 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
great.
it was.
This episode of the Mike How Much podcast is supported by Jameson, where good things come in threes. Let me take a moment to talk about the remarkably smooth and unmistakable taste of Jameson. Sometimes, after recording an episode of Mike How Much, I like to go home and unwind with a glass of Jameson. Hell, sometimes in the middle of recording a podcast, me, Shane, and Max will open a bottle of JMO and enjoy a glass or two, because conversations are always a little better with Jameson, ginger, and lime, or a whiskey on the rocks. Over 200 years of courage, craft, and a collective appreciation for taste in one drink. Jameson, please drink responsibly. Our topics today are... There's a story out of NBC Philadelphia. It is a couple that had a wedding in San Francisco. They're from Chicago. That's 3 different cities I just mentioned.
Yeah,
in the
well, the
last 10
NBC of
seconds.
Philadelphia. That was just the NBC affiliate that I happened to share the thing. It was a
Picked up the
national story. Yeah.
It's a national story. So there was this destination wedding, or at least dream wedding, in San Francisco. This couple from Chicago, but in the background, because there was it during the wildfires most recently, or
Yeah, something like that.
basically like the background of the photos looked toxic. It looked like the air was sort of polluted, and it kind of gave this sort of like
It's kind of like a beautiful haze.
it was like a menacing beauty. in
Yeah.
the background, and the couple wore like gas masks or whatever for the smoke, and so it's this kind of striking image of like maybe like what you would think a post-apocalyptic world would be, where the environment has become sort of uninhabitable in some ways, yet you still do these things like get married and continue on with life in spite of sort of the surrounding circumstances. So this photo went viral. And yeah, it's kind of interesting. Max, why did you want to talk about this?
I don't know. It's like I was wondering. Well, I asked the question in the group.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, like you were mentioning that, like, how do we feel about a couple making some Instagram post about the environment, in quotations, or is everything just influencer culture? I guess the thing was, I couldn't quite understand from the article, like, did this go viral and people thought that the couple was trivializing the environmental change? Like, did they feel like they were using this as a photo op and it was insensitive, or did they feel like this is just a sign of the times? Like, I didn't know the angle necessarily. Like, are we supposed to be mad at this couple for like taking this photo opportunity and sort of trivializing the situation?
Yeah.
Well, you were wondering if it was contrived or not. Right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I was getting at. Like whether it was just like, oh, is this just another like.
Like, is it a
Is
statement?
this like a Mike Posner kind of like marketing effort or something, or just
Right.
just a chance to get like lots of likes basically by doing this like very like really dramatic photo on your wedding day?
Well,
Because they did do one without the masks too.
Do you think their intent was for it to go viral?
I think it was both.
Explain.
Well, it's like you're an influencer yourself, so you would want to write a song that is woke and that's a hit.
Sure.
And I think influencers, like with Alex's This Family Tree account, we want to do the same. We want to do something that's on brand, something we actually believe in, but something that might be a little bit of a hot button, controversial topic.
Sure.
Is this couple influencers, either of them, or did the photographer sort of post this? Like, I'm just not sure their angle. Like, could this have happened at any of our like a random wedding? Like,
Yeah.
I read the whole article, and it didn't seem to me like these two people were. Like, he apparently had to talk the wife into it. She thought it'd be cheesy if she did it with the mask on. The husband was saying.
Yeah.
And the photographer, I think, is the one that posted this image, which was a very striking image, and it went viral. And they seem to be kind of shocked. The couple does.
Yeah, I guess like when it comes to like these sort of like political acts, I'm always just like, and I guess just the nature of social media and getting the word out is like, but just sometimes when it feels extra contrived or like it's more about like them than the message itself, that's always like when it kind of annoys me a little bit. Like it seems like less sincere or like a truly like authentic moment where it feels like, oh, this is just like a very like calculated thing. So it's like, we're talking about the environment here, guys.
I actually don't think these people were making that statement, though.
Okay.
Because they had in the article. Did you read the article?
No.
Okay.
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
Just cut and paste.
Well, in the article, it talks about how these people had booked this wedding well in advance before
Yeah.
the fire and the haze was even there. So they were kind of just locked into this agreement, and they showed up and made the best of it. They had the mask, didn't think anyone would actually wear them or require it, and then turns out they did need the masks, or felt like they need the masks at least.
Or they were there just in case, and they were like, let's do a photo with the mask.
Yeah, I think any of us would have done the same and posted it.
Well, and at the very least, like, it's a strike. I think the image does more good in sort of like raising awareness for maybe the implications of climate change. That, like, even if it goes viral, to Shane's point, like, and maybe if they were influencers, which I'm not sure if they are, it's like, this looks like almost like the cover of a science fiction film, or like some sort of like statement by like some sort of like a creative photographer that's trying to do something sort of fictional, but it's not. It's reality.
You're right, and I guess if it's of all the things to criticize, this, if we're like bringing attention to climate change, is actually a good thing to talk about. It's like when you take a selfie of you voting or something.
Yeah.
You're like, it's like you're kind of being self-promotional and patting yourself on the head a bit, but also of all the things to discuss and put out there, it's a good topic.
Okay, just to be provocative. If these were Asians, would this even be a story?
Because that's a common sort
I
of...
saw 3 on my way to work today wearing
masks.
Yeah. It's just that it's such a common thing for Asians to be wearing these masks walking around.
Yeah, probably not, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think like
very provocative,
population and pollution
Yeah.
has been sort of like... we've seen those images for many years out of parts of Asia where people walk around wearing those masks because of, like we said, population, pollution, germs, all those things. So it wouldn't be as striking seeing this like in San Francisco in like an idyllic sort of like setting with two sort of what we picture as classic North American white people. Like, I wonder if this image will become sort of a defining image, like, you know, the classic, what is it, American Gothic, like the couple with the farm, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Is this become sort of like the 20th century, like, or 21st century, like, sort of defining image of like our generation and sort of what we're living with and what we will be going forward? Is this a harbinger of things to come? Like, is this anomalous, or is this literally going to be the new reality?
Okay, another question on top of that question is, can those like defining images even happen anymore? There's too many fucking images out there. Like, I feel like the American Gothic thing is like only a certain amount of photos were even taken back. What year would that have been?
Right.
You know, I just feel like there's like,
No,
I
it's a
thought that
painting.
was a
They
painting.
It's painting.
Yeah.
They
That's
happen
pain.
for a moment.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
just like our version of like 10 years happens in like a day now. Like the OJ trial wouldn't last for months. It would last for one day. It would be the
Yeah.
hottest thing.
Yeah, I wonder it's like when you...
Yeah, what's viral even? Like, so what? Like, did 5 million people look at it? It's like, that's not even like you know what I mean? Like, not even the most viral it could be
Yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah, I wonder like what are going to be the things that like in 30 years that you look back on, like the year 2019, like what are the things that are going to like kind of rise to the top? Do you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's hard to tell in the moment because everything comes and goes so quickly now.
Well, maybe going for a swim might be like we used to go swimming in the beach, and that might be like the cool thing that we got to do.
Yeah.
No,
I
but I'm
mean-
talking about more like what are like the defining cultural moments of like 2019. I just can't keep track of them anymore.
Oh, interesting. Like you could, like in the past, we could say like, oh, this is the year that Madonna and Britney kissed
Yeah.
at the VMAs, or not John McCain. Who is that? There was a politician, American politician, that went, yeah, Howard Dean.
yeah, yeah.
Howard Dean did something crazy.
The
or,
kiss with Al Gore was pretty crazy to me.
remember that when
Yeah.
he kissed Tipper Gore?
When he was using tongue. I
Yeah, he
think.
tried to like show that he wasn't a stiff or a robot. It was like
He was definitely stiff.
Mike, you like that one?
Oh, that's a good joke. That's a good joke. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, to
there's
Max's
so
point,
much
what's
content now.
What's 2019?
Yeah, I just can't keep track.
What will stand? What are the? I was going to say 3. What is the one thing as we approach the end of the year? We're in October now. There's only like 2 months left.
Yeah.
It's like, what do we remember from 2019? What was the single most defining thing?
It's like if Trump had only done one crazy fucking like thing, that you could go, it was that time like Trump sent a weird letter to like the president of Turkey being like, watch out, buddy. Like, he did that
Yep.
like last week.
Yep.
But because he does one of those every single day, you should kind of throw up your hands and go, is Trump even included in this conversation? Just because I can't keep track of it. You know, things move really fast.
He'd almost need to be caught red-handed committing a murder
Yeah.
for that to be a huge memorable story.
Uh-huh.
So the only thing that comes to mind for me right now is the Epstein
Yep.
controversy. That's the only story that I can
Oh,
remember
yeah.
that's actually kind of like...
on a similar note, the Kavanaugh trial.
Brett Kavanaugh's
this year?
confirmation.
Yeah, that was in the spring.
Yeah.
Man, time moves in
That's
such a
top
weird
of
way
mind.
now.
Usually celebrity deaths, if there was like a big celebrity
good
death,
point.
but I like
Who was the last one, a big one?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Who
there
passed,
hasn't been too many
passed away this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, like there's been so much news. Maybe we're missing something glaringly obvious, but I can't think of anything.
Brexit?
But that happened
No, I
a
guess
while
it's
ago.
been ongoing,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
just like sort of been a sort of never-ending mess. Yeah, I don't know what the worldwide, like I know personally.
the
for me,
Raptors.
the That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say. Like the Raptors,
Yeah.
but that's not even a huge North American story. It's like
That's just a
Yeah.
personal landmark life moment.
exactly like most people would say the Patriots winning the Super Bowl is more.
I'd
of a
probably
big
say
deal.
like on a worldwide level, Nick Nurse coming on stage with Arkels.
yeah,
that's probably it.
That's a defining moment
Yeah.
of the year for sure.
All right, next subject.
Next subject, big story in the New York Times about packages. Amazon is delivering 1.5 million packages are delivered each day in New York City, adding to gridlock on roads as the internet ordering economy booms. So this is pretty crazy. I don't know if it's Amazon directly. It's everybody sending all these packages out. But 1.5 million is an astronomical number a day. So how do we feel about participating in this new consumer culture? Max asks everybody as the producer of the podcast. Wow, it's a good question.
Yeah, it's one of these interesting ones because like Amazon has made everyone's life really easy because it's so convenient and it's also cheap as fuck. It's like literally cheaper to order something and wait for it to come literally in hours versus walking down the street. But then the consequences, it's like this article gets into the fact that like
Gridlock, in the city,
just like
trucks.
the way the cities operate is like they could have never predicted this change.
The infrastructure can't handle it.
No.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit of a bullshitty article, like clickbait. Like, we need a story. We've got this awesome photo of these packages strewn everywhere. It looks like a mess. It looks like chaos. Because I do think
You think 1.5 million is a clickbaity? Like, I think that's a real number though. Like,
yeah, I definitely think a lot of packages are being sent out, but I also think a lot less people are on the roads out going to brick and mortar places, which cause traffic. And like I was
no, but the numbers are actually just higher in general.
Well, I was trying to fact check a lot of the stuff because I like my spidey senses went a little bit like So it's like for things that make you go for all you Arsenio fans out there. From 1990 to 2017, it says carbon dioxide emissions from automobiles and trucks grew by 27%. Okay, but from 1990 to 2017, the population grew by 25%. So that's actually 2% growth.
Is that
in
per
terms of
capita,
cars?
do you think? Or I guess we don't know. It's like, is it
Oh, you think they're actually taking into account?
the population growth? I don't know.
No, I don't. I think they're doing it like when they say like somebody's
Sure,
broke a movie box office record. They're never accumulating how much it actually
Yeah,
is
yeah.
in like money back then. But yeah, and it's always throwing in the fact that it could be it's cars also and trucks.
Huh.
I do think it's Uber that is the problem here.
Oh,
Because way
interesting.
more people, the convenience of Uber, no one's taking the streetcar as much, or the subway. They're just, and times where they might do a 10-minute walk, they're doing a 2-minute Uber.
Yeah.
I really think that's the case going on here.
Would you stop using like Uber or ordering things off Amazon?
No, well, my first solution was if this was a mainly about emissions, which seems like it's also about the congestion, was, oh, why don't they just get electric cars and let's get electric trucks? And then I read the article, and that's the plan.
Oh.
So that they're going to get electric trucks.
How do we feel about consumer culture? Do we have too much shit?
Yeah.
Like it's just like we're producing so much stuff we don't need, but I guess that we want, and it's like, what are the long-term implications of all
Problem
of
with
this
capitalism, bro. You know, it's all about growth and financial end of years and
stuff? There's something to all that,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know. Like, I mean, and by the way, it's like we choose to live in a society where everybody has sort of a choice, and you know what I mean. This is what a capitalist society is, like you said. And I don't think we could ever put a cap on what people want to buy or what they can get and the plastics that we use. Maybe they could put a cap on the way plastic's used. But it's just like when I hear 1.5 million packages a day, it's like, what are people ordering? Like, is it a mix? It's like food, clothing, like electronics, like just shit, you know? And it's like,
Because I think right now Amazon delivers stuff to survive too, like just food, baby diapers,
sure.
like just day-to-day stuff. And I think a lot more people are using that instead of going out to like a supermarket.
Also, who are the people that are using these services? Is it above a certain line of income? Because I never ordered anything online forever, and I still it's not foreign to me, but it's like I would never, as like a way of process, do it. Like Danica does. She orders everything online. Like we're all constantly getting shit delivered because that's the way that she's been operating for a decade. Like she's part of that sort of infrastructure. I've actually never really fully embraced, like if I wanted something, I would not go online and wait for it. Like the last thing I ordered online, and probably the first thing in years, was stupid Raptors championship T-shirts because my brother sent me a code, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy some T-shirts.
But you don't have to wait anymore. That's the thing. Sometimes
Yeah.
you can get stuff within hours.
Yeah.
I know, but I still haven't even moved over, so I wonder how many people aren't using this. But maybe
Well, if you
maybe
live
not.
in New York, you got to be very incentivized to do so.
Yeah.
Like parking's a nightmare. The traffic's terrible. Why go outside? So
Yeah.
just wait in your house.
I guess I just don't buy a lot of things either. It's
Yeah.
like I've had the same phone and laptop for a half decade or more. I like don't buy a lot of clothes at all. Like it's like I do 2 shops a year and then that works. So I don't know what I'd be buying. But I guess like
Stuff for baby products are huge. So I think if you're a new parent or if you're elderly, you might not necessarily be using it if you're elderly, but probably your son or daughter's ordering it for you.
Yep. No, you're right. And you're completely right. Danica does order all of our diapers and everything. Like they all get
And
delivered.
it's not more expensive.
I just don't have to think about it.
It's cheaper actually.
Yeah.
than leaving the house.
Do you order a lot of stuff online,
No, I
Max?
don't. Well, because
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
I
So
live
how
in
do you,
Hamilton.
to two
Right.
people.
You don't want to leave anything on your front door; it'll be gone.
There's a ringing endorsement for our hometown.
Well, most people in New York, they live in apartment buildings.
Yeah.
So the doorman can take it.
Yeah.
Do you order a lot online, Erica?
No, not really. Like I'll only really order online if there's like a sale. or something like specifically to like attract me to order something online as opposed to go in the store. In Toronto, it's weird because you're like, there's so many things so close to you, but at the same time, it's sort of inconvenient to get around. Like grocery shopping sucks if if you need to get more than like a bag of stuff to like carry it back to your house. And yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I'm not super big on online shopping.
So I heard an anecdote about some friends were at like a pool party in California, and somebody wanted some liquor so they could make some drinks. And
Jameson products?
Yeah, probably
Most
Jameson.
likely.
Yeah.
It's tasty stuff.
And they said, oh, someone's like, oh, run to the store and grab it. Like, oh, don't run to the store. I'm just going to order on Amazon. And like, you can order on Amazon? I was like, yeah, because I'm like a Prime member or whatever. It's like, it'll be here in an hour.
Really?
Yeah. And I was just like, that kind of like frivolous bullshit spending where it's like, really? Like, is this, and like, that's what, there needs to be a cap on that. And I don't actually have like a practical solution for it. But it's like, when it comes to like mothers who are ordering like diapers for like essential services, there needs to be like a frivolous sales tax for like bullshit when people who are just like living opulent North American lives, they'd be like, no, we're taxing the fuck out of you because like you are just causing problems for like needless shit. But if it's actually, and what is divided into essential services versus bullshit services is something to be debated.
Do you use Uber Eats, Max?
Yeah, sometimes.
Isn't that the same shit?
Yeah, tax me, man.
All right.
That's why I'm all about a good active government calling people on their bullshit. I need someone to call me on my bullshit all the time.
That's why I'm here, man.
Yeah.